Ronald Reagan.
I know only two tunes. One of them is Yankee Doodle. The other isn't. You Graham. Rogers said, politics ain't worrying this country 1/10 as much as where to find a parking space.
Too much of a good thing can be wonderful, or less.
On the whole, I'd rather be in Philadelphia. W.C. Fields.
I really don't know anything about music. In my line of work, you don't have to. Elvis Presley.
Remember one thing. If you want to become a success in life, have your brother elected President of the United States, Billy Carter.
Eleanor Roosevelt said, "This I know, this I believe with all my heart. If we want a free and peaceful world, if we want to make deserts bloom, we can do it."
For the better freedom, let freedom be. We are all Americans, that is why we sing. Sing the song of freedom, sing throughout this land. Together we're number one, we're all Americans, all Americans, all
Thank you very much, everyone. We are the New Dawn Singers, and thank you for coming tonight. Welcome to our show entitled Hometown USA.
We have a lot in store for you tonight, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the show as we salute the United States of America.
I believe in America, standing strong, standing free.
and community histories. We're going to take you back to a time and place where life was just a little bit simpler and the pace was just a little bit slower. It was a time where family and friends could gather together to celebrate the holidays, even with the family dog. Join us now as we go back to that place, to hometown USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, as mayor of this fair city, I'd like to welcome you to our 4th of July celebration. And as mayor, I promise kisses for every baby, flowers for every lady, and a good time for one and all. Give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. In the good old summertime, with me in the
you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a privilege to be here. Sorry that this is our last show in this series. We have enjoyed this thoroughly, putting the shows together, and we've really appreciated your coming out and supporting the series, as you have. And we hope to see you again in the fall. Now, as we move along with our program, we have a lot of things that have to do with just good old celebrating America. And from Alaska in the north, all the way down to here in Florida in the south, from Hawaii in the west to Maine in the east, no other country on earth offers the diversity of scenery that can be found in our great United States of America. Along the way, we get to meet a lot of new people and make friends all around our country. Oh, who is that? Well, from the looks of him, it's somebody who's been traveling around a lot. Excuse me? Sir? Sir?
Yup.
Sir, forgive my intrusion, but it seems like you've traveled a lot around this great land, have you?
Yup, I've been just about everywhere.
Well, can you tell me, just offhand, have you been as far north as Alaska?
Yup, I've been there. It's kind of cold, but I've been there.
Okay, how about all the way down to Florida?
Oh, yeah, I go there every winter. It's nice down there.
Okay, and have you been as far west as our state of Hawaii?
Well, I don't go there because the trains don't run there. You know, it's too much water in Hawaii.
Oh, that's true.
What can you do?
I should have thought of that. Okay, sorry about that, but how about California then? We'll stay on the mainland.
Yep, I've been out there. It's pretty nice out there. Got some good beaches.
All right, have you been as far east as Maine?
Oh, yeah, I've been everywhere around this country. It's pretty nice.
Okay, well, can you tell me, sir, what is just about the most exciting thing that you've ever experienced in your travels?
Oh, boy, that's a toughie. I'd have to say running from the conductor. He's pretty fast, you know.
Well, I would suggest something, and that is get running right now, because there's the conductor of the All-American Express.
Attention, attention! The All-American Express is leaving in 10 minutes on track 29. All aboard! Destinations, Alabama, Kansas City, Pennsylvania,
Sir,
New
I need a
Orleans,
ticket to Alabama.
California, Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky, Texas, Wisconsin.
Stop! I want to get on board. Conductor, I am listening. I need on board. You see, I'm going home again to Alabama, where I'm meeting the foe. Out of the city, away from the snow.
Well, that's fine, ma'am. I'd be happy to sell you a ticket.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Now, do you have any luggage?
Yes, I do. Oh, boy!
Coming, that you'll never miss a train unless your luggage is too heavy.
Well, I must confess that it's more than the usual. My reasons are personal.
That's no problem on this first class express. All aboard the All-American. Everybody aboard! The All-American Express is leaving in 8 minutes.
Get on board, ride the All-American, let's get on board. Nothing could be better than to shuffle on over to Buffalo and bustle along on to Ohio. Get on board, ride the All-American and see the USA.
Up aboard the train as it's about to go. It's easy when you don't let the conductor know.
Oh, nothing is better than to ride All-American, All-American Express. I'm Alabama bound, dopey-do, heebie-jeebies hanging round. Just give the cutest ticket made on earth. All I'm worth to put my toesies in a bird. I'm Alabama bound.
Hey,
Pennsylvania, everybody has a big house to do the polka of Pennsylvania. Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. We'll take Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too. It's the way going through the zoo. The city's glamour can never spoil the dreams of a boy and girl. We'll turn Manhattan into an island of joy.
Everything's up to date in Kansas City. They've gone about as far as they can go. They went and built a skyscraper 7 stories high, about as high as a building ought to grow. They've gone about as far as they can go. Yes, sir! They've gone about as far as they can go.
Way down yonder in New Orleans, there's the land of dreamy scenes. There's the Garden of Eden, that's what I mean. Way down yonder in New Orleans.
Down upon a small
Captain Lewis and Lieutenant Clark, charging them to explore the Missouri River onto the waters of the Pacific Ocean and to map the great expanse of this country. May God grant them providence.
The Journal of Captain Meriwether Lewis, May 13, 1804. All provisions are complete, and the company is in health and readiness. We set out at 4 o'clock p.m. in the presence of many of the neighboring inhabitants, and proceeded under a gentle breeze up the Missouri to the upper point of the first island, approximately 4 miles, and camped on the island.
Lieutenant William Clark, July 4th, 1804. Today we walked ashore and discovered a high mound where 3 paths came together. The land we survey is exceedingly good.
September 17th, 1804. Having for weeks confined myself to the boat, I devoted today to viewing the interior of the country. Endless grass gives the fields the appearance of beautiful bowling greens. The scenery, already pleasing and beautiful, was further heightened by the immense herds of buffalo, deer, elk, and antelope, which we saw in every direction, exceeding as far as the eye could reach.
May 26th, 1805. Today we started out early, and I ascended to a high plain. From this point, I beheld the Rocky Mountains for the first time. I knew the snowy barrier would slow our way to the Pacific Ocean, but the sun was shining, and the peaks of the mountains were covered with snow, and the sun shone on them in such a way as to give me the most satisfactory view.
seized by water. Examine the rapids below. The danger appears too great to hazard our canoes. We proceed on.
November 3rd. Today we saw a great number of gulls.
The high hills jutting in so close, we cannot retreat back.
The cliffs increasing in height.
Great joy in camp. November 7th, 1805. We are in view of the ocean. This great Pacific Ocean, which we've been so anxious to see. The roaring and noise made by the waves breaking on the rocky shore is heard distinctly.
On a peak, we raised our flag, at last set to fly over one people, one soil, and one land.
stage takes us to places, introduces new plays to us, which takes us to new places. They bring us to unfold our hidden smiles, and they lift our spirits. Sometimes they make us laugh, and sometimes they make us cry. They bring us to places that we've never been to, but places that after we've been there, we won't soon forget. One play in particular will have you singing the lullabies of Broadway. Listen, can you hear those dancing feet? Well, come along with us as you'll hear the melodies of 42nd Street.
Hey, did you see this? Julian Marsh is doing a show.
Get out of here! Julian Marsh is doing a show?
We can go back to work again.
Get out your tap sheets, Francis. Julian Marsh is doing a show.
First audition, 10 a.m. tomorrow.
July is a month for families to get together and make wonderful memories. We wanted to pay tribute to all of the families out there, and what better way than through this musical from Broadway's Ragtime entitled Our Children.
Thank you. In the month of July, in the year of 1975, a Broadway show opened that featured many young, aspiring singers and dancers who wanted to make it big in a Broadway show. The story shares the struggles and the hardships of each one of them, and all throughout their lives as it was portrayed then, but it ends with a roaring finale. And the title of that song is One, and it comes from a chorus line.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down. The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff that escorts you out of town. The opening when your heart beats like a drum. The closing when the customers won't come. Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Harold elsewhere. Tell all the gay and 40s
get it? In our next song, it's going to feature a young lad named Ryan, who his class was studying geography, all about the United States. And one day the teacher called upon him to stand up and strut his stuff, I guess, say all 50 states. And he got a little bit nervous, but he came up with a way of being able to do it. And we're going to look in on that little scene. And it was a silly little song that he made up to help you remember the words, and this is how it goes.
When I was small, I studied U.S. geography. The teacher said, "Would you stand up and list the states for me?" My knees began knocking, my words fell out all wrong. Then suddenly I burst out with this funny little song. Alabama and Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, and Connecticut, and more, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, so 35 to go. Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, and good old Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, then Nebraska 27, number 28, Nevada. Next, New Hampshire and New Jersey, then way down New Mexico. There's New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, now let's see, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Utah, Vermont, I'm almost through. Virginia, then there's Washington, and West Virginia too. Could Wisconsin be the last one? There isn't 49. Though Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that rhyme. When I sat down all out of breath, the teacher said, California, Colorado, and Connecticut, and more, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, so 35 to go. Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, and good old Michigan, and Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, then Nebraska 27, number 28, Nevada. Next, New Hampshire and New Jersey, then we down to Mexico. There's North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, now see, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Utah, Vermont, I'm almost through. Virginia, then there's Washington, and West Virginia too. Could Wisconsin be the last one, or is it 49? No, Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that rhyme. No, Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that rhyme.
Well, thank you, folks. I'm not sure I can repeat that, but I'm not sure you could either, especially at that speed. It's okay, Ryan did a fine job. Come to the part of the program while I really enjoy. I'm going to take a tour of the great country. Before we do that, I do have a couple of announcements that I think are important. First of all, I understand there's a birthday here tonight. Mr. Bill Rohr is 65 years old. Happy birthday, Mr. Bill Rohr. I appreciate that. I understand that you're going to get some help with all those financial bills now and all those kind of things from our great government. We should write a song called Medicare, right? Medicare, we'll do it someday. All right, also a couple announcements, some future things. At the church on the square on August 25th, we'll be doing a gospel concert. That'll be an hour and a half worth. August 25th, I believe it's at 5 o'clock. And then September 11th, we're doing a patriotic musical on September 11th because it's the anniversary of the tragedy called Home of the Brave. We're going to share that. We did it one other time. We're going to do it again. So you can put those dates down and come and see us at the Church of the Square on those dates. August 25th, the gospel concert, the patriotic program, September 11th. Now we're going to take you a little tour all across the United States. Some of you have heard your states mentioned already. That's okay. I always like to ask the very famous question, like how many were born and raised in Florida? Yeah, that's I thought. Okay? That's why I asked that question. Now, when you hear your state mentioned in this next package, we're going to ask you to give a little cheer, a little applause, something like that. The group's going to keep right on going because all the states will be mentioned, some in a song and some by mentioning some of the history and some of the greatness of our land. And we're going to open up with a little song called We Are America, which brings us all together. Then we're going to take off on this tour. So fasten your seatbelts, let's go as we celebrate the greatest country in all the world, the United States of America.
Country in the world. We have a rich heritage of songs and stories about our land and our people.
Come with us on a whirlwind journey and get a musical glimpse of America. Let's start with the great states of the Northeast, where our country had its birth.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. That Yankee Northeast, the forests of New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and the beautiful, charming towns and farms of Vermont. Chesapeake Bay from the best lobster and crab in the land.
On the beach of New Jersey, you'll find another national treasure. That's where you'll find Miss America.
The state of New York boasts the spectacular Niagara Falls, the Empire State Building, and the welcoming torch of the Statue of Liberty. While the peal of freedom is still heard from the Liberty Bell in Pennsylvania.
Now, both of these states border Lake Erie, and if you listen carefully, you'll hear the song of the men on the barges traveling up the Erie Canal.
15 miles from the Erie Canal, we hauled some barges in our day, filled with lumber, coal, and hay. And we knew every inch of the way from Albany to Buffalo, 15 miles from the Erie Canal.
Stretch from West Virginia to Virginia, into Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, into Georgia, Alabama, and the down-home state of Louisiana.
What would the South be without that country music born in the hills of Tennessee?
Don't forget that southern state of Arkansas and steamy Mississippi.
Or the southeastern tip of the United States, with its 1,350 miles of coastline, its oranges, its forever sunshine.
And where we plan to retire, Florida.
All aboard!
By 1849, the Union Pacific and Atlantic Railroads had arrived, along with them the expansion of the Great Plains and some of the most beautiful farmlands of the world.
From the great Atlantic Ocean to the white Pacific shore, from the green of flowing mountains to south and by the shore. She's mighty tall and handsome and known quite well by all. She's the mighty combination of the Wabash Cannonball, traveling through the country in the Wabash Cannonball. Ooh.
west stretch the prairies of the central United States with the corn and wheat fields of North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas.
Lonesome cowboys riding the ranges of Montana, Wyoming, Oklahoma, the beautiful Rocky Mountains of Colorado, and hey, how about that yippee-ki-yay state of Texas?
Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. The prairie sky is wide and high, deep in the heart of Texas.
Yes, it's that Lone Star state of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Yeehaw, Texas.
Traveling even farther west, we find the hot chilies in New Mexico,
The Great Salt Lake in Utah.
the beautiful Grand Canyon in Arizona,
Hoover Dam and the colorful desert sands and sagebrush of Nevada.
Drifting along with the tumbling tumbleweed. Drifting along with the tumbling tumbleweed.
We know you're going to recognize the words of this next song, so please sing along with us.
California, here I come, right back where I started from. For flowers bloom in the sun. Each morning at dawn and birdies singing everything. The sun-kissed mist says don't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up that golden gate. California, here I come.
By 1850, news hit the east. Gold had been discovered in Sacramento, California. The gold rush had begun.
And people have been rushing around California ever since.
Open up that golden gate, California, California, here I come, here I come.
The state of Idaho boasts its potatoes. Washington, its apples. And Oregon, its rugged coastline and forested foothills.
The only two remaining states on our tour are the tropical islands of Hawaii and the rugged state of Alaska.
Altogether, these states from north to south, east to west make up this great land.
A land we thank God for and are proud to claim as our own. For this land is our land.
America, the greatest country on earth.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the Ohio, the land of forest, the country water. This land was made for you and me.
No other country in the world offers the freedoms and opportunities that can be found here in the good old United States of America. The New Dawn Singers recognize that freedom did not come easily. It was bought and paid for with the blood, sweat, and tears of the men and women of our armed forces who won our freedom and continue to pay the price for maintaining our freedom, even some to the point of death. This time I'd like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to those who have already served and those who continue to serve so faithfully in this endeavor. Now, when the group sings their particular branch of the service, we're going to ask you to stand if you've ever been in the military. And if your mate is no longer with us, stand for your mate. That's fine. You stay up there until your particular song is finished and sit down, and when the next one comes on, the next group stands up. So we think this is a wonderful opportunity for you to take part and for us to say thank you. And boy, what a better time than the time that we're at war, a war that we've never kind of fought before. We're still praying for our country. We believe in our country. We believe in the men and the women of our armed forces. And here's our salute. Step in time.
Can you hear them? Can you hear them march? Thousands, thousands, stepping in time to the call of their country. Thousands, thousands, stepping in time to the call of their country. Step, step, step in time. Step, step, step in time. Step in time, Army! Army! Step in time, Army! 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 Here's the Army standing tall. Here's the Army standing tall. Men and women heed the call. Men and women heed the call. These are the ones who serve their land. These are the ones who serve their land. All for the Army, give a hand. All for the Army, give a hand.
And all those Army people, let's hear it for us.
Stepper Tom Air Force! Air Force! Air Force! Stepper Tom Air Force! Air Force! Air Force! Here's the Air Force, see them fly. Here's the Air Force, see them fly. Here's the glory in the sky. Here's the glory in the sky. These are the ones who serve their land. These are the ones who serve their land. All for the Air Force, give a hand. All for the Air Force, give a hand.
All you Air Force people, up.
In the wild blue yonder, climbing high in the sky. Here they come to meet our thunder. Air Force, give it a go. Down we die, flame from under. Up the dawn, terrible war. We live in flame, we're out in flame. Where nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Stepper Tom Navy! 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 Stepper Tom Navy! 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 Here's the Navy proud to be. Here's the Navy proud to be. Fighting ships upon the sea. Fighting ships upon the sea. These are the ones who serve their land. These are the ones who serve their land. All for the Navy, give a hand. All for the Navy, give a hand.
All right, all you Navy people up in your feet.
Anchors away, my boys. Anchors away. Farewell to promised shores. We sail at break of day. Hey, hey, hey. To our last night ashore. Where you roam until we meet once more. Here's ships in you and happy lights on. Serpentine Marines! 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 Serpentine Marines! 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 Here's the Marines, a few good men. Here's the Marines, a few good men. Hit that beach again and again. Hit that beach again and again. These are the ones who save their land. These are the ones who save their land. All Marines, give a hand. All Marines, give a hand.
Hey, all you Marines. Stand up.
Claim the title of United States Marines.
For 200 years they've kept us free, giving their lives for liberty. These are the ones who serve their land.
One more time, let's give a hand.
very much. As far as any American citizen is concerned, the greatest decision of all time was made on July 4th, 1776, when 56 men signed their names to the Declaration of Independence, knowing that their act would bring freedom to all men, or they'd been hanging from a gallows.
But that decision did not start in Philadelphia. It began 6 years earlier on March 5th, 1770, on the streets of Boston, where the people of the city took action against their oppression. Soldiers were ordered to fix bayonets, and the battle was on. Many were killed and wounded, but the colonists knew that this must not happen again.
Samuel Adams, John Hancock, and Richard Henry Lee began a correspondence which resulted in the creation of the First Continental Congress. 2 years after its formation, Lee addressed the chair. Gentlemen, I make the motion that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they be absolved of the allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain ought to be totally dissolved.
Thomas Jefferson was appointed chairman of a committee to draw up a Declaration of Independence. On July 4th, 1776, he began to read. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate but equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation.
The document was signed by 56 men who staked their lives in their decision to write their name. As a result, a nation came into being which was destined to bring the privilege of making decisions to mankind forever. America, the home of the brave and the free.
This ain't coming from no prophet, just an ordinary man. When I close my eyes, I see the way things ought to be, and we'll go walking in it.
When the last child cries for a crust of bread, when the last man dies for just words they said, when there's shelter over the
Thank you, folks. We're coming down to the end of our show. We have one special thing we'd like to share before we finish off. And Jackie Chauncey, I would ask you just to step forward a little bit. We have a little special presentation. Thank you, first of all, for 2 years of wonderful, wonderful service. We appreciate you. And this is Jackie's grandparents, the Mitchell family. The Mitchell family's going to come forth and just give her some roses as a thank you from the Newland family and from her personal family. God bless you. Thank you so much. I'll give it back to her. We're not seniors have decided to give her a scholarship. We don't know how much that's going to be yet. We know what it is, but it won't be until a little bit later on. But we want to give her something to help her on with her schooling, so we'll do that at a later date. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the conclusion. We thank you for sharing with us that this is our last program of our season, and how appropriate. It's about our country. We love our country. There's no greater land in all the world. So we finish off. Lee Greenwood was here. We're going to share this song. We think you'll like it. If you want to visit our CD table, we have most of these patriotic songs recorded on a CD called Get Happy. You can see the singers will all be in the outside the doors of the auditorium there in the narthex, or whatever you call that, the hallway. So we share this in conclusion. Depends if you're from a church or not. Oh well. God bless the USA.
Start again and begin a brand new life.
Joshua, Kelly, Ryan, Amy, Sean, and Nicole. You've been a great audience. Thanks so much. Hope to see you October and our church in the square. Take care. God bless you all.